There comes to a point in time where you stop plagiarizing and imitate other people, whether they are fictional or non-fictional, and start becoming your own individual self. How do we do this? First, you can imitate as much as you want, as long as you are getting information on what makes certain people have the best qualities, and then you take these qualities and make it your own without ever feeling like you're plagiarizing. I've done that quite a bit throughout school, and then there comes to a point where you start becoming your own person, your own good person. Yeah, and this takes some time. It takes a lot of mistakes, a lot of failures, and a lot of humiliation. I have had my share, and I could tell you all about today. But for today, I just want to tell you how you're going to be yourself. Sometimes even that can be very hard too, because you're still trying to figure out yourself. And that's okay. It's a solo journey. I cannot tell you to behave in certain ways, because otherwise that would be unfair. Because for example, I'm not really a big fan of tomatoes, but I'm sure there are people out there that enjoy tomatoes as well. I made a few jokes every time I go on stage where, hey, you don't like my performance, just chuck some tomatoes at me. I've yet for that to actually happen, but one day I'm sure it will. All kidding aside, it's just what makes their people unique, for their individual selves, not like that. And furthermore, it's just good practice to try to figure out yourself. What else can you do to try to figure yourself out for being your individual self, or individual independence? Well, part of the practice happens that involves writing. My personal way happens to be here, Ryan. So I write down all kinds of things that I'm interested in and not so interested as much. Likes and dislikes, and you can do the same thing too. So get out a pen and a piece of paper and start writing. Or if you're into drawing, you can do that. Draw whatever feels most comfortable, whether it be just whatever that comes to mind. It can be offensive to others or not so offensive, as long as you do it by yourself and private. You just get those ideas out, just kind of get them out, and it might make you feel better once you get them out. So anything to do with art, I'm always up for it, because that's how important it is. That's how important it is for the development in the topic of autism, and it's really quite a good creative adventure, I guess you could say. And all adventures can be dangerous, and they can. There are some areas where you feel like you can't get across. In every adventure, I believe, is that there's always a way to get across, always a way to keep moving forward, and eventually you will make it to the destination, whether it be getting a job, or building a company, or doing something that you feel is very rewarding. Like another good example is making it through the arcade games, or making it through the arcades without having some trouble, or having some difficulties, because those places can be quite loud. I've had my experience with arcades were a little too noisy, and it took some time, took some practice. That's all. One of the ways to do that is playing some video games at home, and then you can evolve from that into playing them in the arcades. That's just one example for finding your way and finding your individual self. Going off on tangent here is that some folks are into shooters, some are into racing, and for me personally, I'm almost always into the racing. It's always fun to go really fast, super fast. And it's because, I used to grow up wanting to be a race car driver before I became an author and keynote speaker. And, things can change like that too. Find your individual self. Don't feel like you need to plagiarize other people. You can get some ideas from other people, fictional or non-fictional, but ultimately you have to make the decision to be your own self. And that can be really hard. I understand. It can take a while, but once you find your hook, once you find your individuality, it just comes off much more naturally as you progress and mature. And I know that's above all, I know that it can work and it'll come naturally. It's just practice, and once you practice enough, you won't even feel like you're thinking too hard about it. It just comes off very naturally. So with that, let's get to work.